Good morning. It is Sunday, May 12th, 2024. Happy Mother's Day. I hope everybody is having a fabulous, fabulous Mother's Day. Today, on this beautiful Sunday morning where we had torrential downpours in the middle of the night last night, I thought, what a better way to start the day and kind of end the weekend with some programming, right? Why not? Why not? I think that's a beautiful way to cap off, to put the final, to take the cap of the weekend and put it on and twist it lightly, because we don't want to close it completely, because the weekend's not completely over right now. We still have all day Sunday. Like, I still have a bunch of things I'm going to do. Like, I have a ton of things I want to do today still. I want to do this stream. I want to cut the grass. I want to hang up some new flags. I want to go on a run. So there's lots of things to do still. Lots of things to do. But it is the final day of the weekend. Tomorrow is Monday, and that always kind of brings a little bit of sadness, right? At least to me. Anyway, so work on the game GeoSketch has continued. For anybody new, anybody watching this stream after the fact, because I don't see anybody watching it live right now, GeoSketch is a game where you can draw, where you are asked to draw the map of a country, and then you are measured on how well you do that and how quickly you do that, and depending on that, you have a score. And then the point of the game is, you become better at drawing the countries, you become more competitive with drawing the countries. Is it going to be a good game? I don't know. Is it going to be a popular game? I don't know. But I do know I'm having fun writing the game. So, and honestly, to a great extent, that's all that matters, is that you're having fun writing the game. Right now, what I wanted to do, so I'll show, since the last time we had a stream, I'll show you what progress has been made on the game. Now, I'll admit there wasn't a lot of progress made on the game since we last did this. There was some, and I'll show that now. If the game has to recompile. I thought what we would do today is, right now we have basically a hard-coded data system, right? Because eventually the game is going to have to load data from some data files, because it's going to have to know, okay, I want this person to draw, Afghanistan. I want this person to draw Montana, things like that. But that data has to come from somewhere. Well, right now it's just pseudo hard coded. Like, I don't even have the final format of the data. Like, I don't know how the final format of the data is going to live on the disk. I don't know what that's going to look like. And I just have a few options hard coded into the game. But what I thought we would work on, so here's what we did last time on the stream, which works well. You can draw, and what you can do now is the timer, right? So this is timing. So you can see it's asking you to draw Bolivia. That's obviously not what Bolivia looks like. We can make an attempt. Like, an attempt was made. No, that's awful. That's an awful Bolivia, right? Something like that, I guess. And now when I hit the space bar, it's going to ask me to draw another one, US2. And then here's my attempt at drawing the US, something like this, right? You got to have the Great Lakes in there, okay? And then Canada, which is just a big mess. And then there are a bunch of decisions that need to be made about things like Canada. Like, would you include all the islands, and something like this, and then something like this, I guess. Got to have Labrador over here. And then Mexico. What does Mexico look like? Kind of down, have the Yucatan, and then up, and then something like that, right? Mexico is going to look roughly like that. And then when you hit enter, the game's over. So there's a couple of things wrong once the game's over. Is what I wanted to display. This is where you would display the results of the game, of what you just did. Right now we can actually, it does nothing. It just says done, and then it still draws here on this. So what we're going to do is, the first thing I was going to kind of get warmed up and start with something that's fairly easy. And start with something that was fairly easy, and just have it so you can't draw on the map, right? Once the game is done, you can't draw on the map anymore. That was kind of to get us warmed up a little bit. That should be something pretty straightforward. So we got to go over to the tile manager. I had already added a Boolean set draw and can draw. Now, on the game controller, I added this start method. In the start method, I wanted to rename this. I was trying to figure out how to rename this, like with just a helper, but like refactorings, change move definition, change declaration and definition. But that didn't do anything. Because what I wanted to do is I wanted to be start round, right? Like that. I know what, because that's what it is. It's start round, because what I want also is I want a end round. But wait a minute, round isn't the right word, because I'm pretty sure if I look at the, where is the tiled game controller, I have end round, start round. So this is actually start game, I guess. Start game. Because round, and the way that I've named round in this case would be, you know, like if you're asked to name 5 countries, that's 5 rounds. I don't know if that quite makes sense, though. And whereas game would be the game would be being asked to name all 5 countries. Like that's kind of the distinction there. I don't know if that's a distinction that really makes sense. We'll stick with this. End game. Okay. And I feel like that should actually, oh, well, this is a game controller, and the game, so I think it makes sense. The game, so start game and end game, you don't have to implement them. They can be implemented at will. So what did I want to do? Okay, so what I need, this gives an interesting design example or design conundrum, right? Because these are public, and that's cheating. Like, who would I want to ever call start game and end game? Honestly, this is a good interview question for C++ programmers. Is like, when would you use a private virtual function? And the answer is, and this is a good example. Well, this isn't a good example, but this could illustrate it. But when would you use a private virtual function as opposed to a protected virtual function? So one is controlling when the function gets called, and the other is controlling what gets called. So if you had functionality, and like if this was designed better, I would always call, like, I would know when start game gets called within the framework of the game controller. I would know when start game gets called. I would know when end game gets called. And I would not want other classes to change that. But I would want other classes to be able to change what start game does and what end game does. So that would be a good example of when you would use private virtual functions. However, this class is not done really well. so I don't think so I think what's happening here is, like, I'm just gonna have to call it manually from tiled game controller. So here's the override. So this would be start game, and then somewhere I'm calling start. So tiled game CPP start. There it is. So you can see here, well, that's actually not where I'm calling it. So where does it get called? Let's look and see where it gets called. Well, wait a minute. It might. Does it get called in a? Oh, you know what? Okay. So I take back what I just said. I see. So it actually does need to be public because it's called by a third party. So the example I gave, where you would make a virtual private function, would be if the class itself was calling that private virtual function. But in this case, it's not. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait. That's not start game. That's a start game button. Start game. Start game. I don't see anywhere that start game is actually getting called. Is it? Is that true? All right, we got to figure that out. Because, okay, override. Game start controller. Okay, so a couple places are calling it. So let's just go do this. Let me check. All right, let me see. Sorry, I'm distracted by our conversation off screen. I will try to show more respect to the audience and not do that. Captain Fandom Nerd, good morning. Good morning, sir. I hope you are having a wonderful and beautiful Saturday or Sunday. I hope you had a wonderful and beautiful Saturday, and I hope you're currently having a wonderful and beautiful Sunday. Let's see if Joe's around. I'm going to ping him, tell him to wake up. All right. So, okay, here the controller is getting called. Let's see, start. If not start, okay, it's just getting called in the update. So I see what's happening here. So start game. Oh, ooh, oh, Joe is up. I'm gonna let him know. I am streaming if you're not busy. There we go. Can always count on Joe. I mean, except when you can't. Okay, so this is an instance where I don't like the fact that it's called start game. Because it doesn't make sense. It's in a game screen update. So it's essentially like you would be calling start game multiple times within the same game. I don't like that. So the whole idea of changing the name to start game is bad. I'm going to undo that. And Joe is here. He says hello. Hello, Joe. We are attempting to name something, and as you know, naming and programming is probably one of the hardest things to do. I guess we could just name this start controller, right? It's going to be called one time per controller. This is in the controller class. Start game. I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to call it start. I think that's a good name. Start controller. If you look around, there's a lot of programming memes about how the two hardest things in programming is, and the first one's always different. You know, it's always like, it often has something to do with like used last cache or least used cache or something like that. But in naming is one of the hardest things in programming, if not the hardest thing in programming, and there's a lot of truth to that. All right, so we come over here, we're starting the controller, and this makes a lot more sense. Start controller, and then we have to come back here and name this start controller and this start controller. Okay, now what was all of that for? Okay, all of that was to end the controller, right? Because we added an end controller as well, and we want to be able to define what that is. Okay. No, I'm reacting because this still just doesn't feel right. Like the name is still bothering me, but I think I'm gonna get over it. All right. So let's see. Okay, good. Okay. So, end round. When do we turn the timer off now? We turn the timer off now. I think it's a ham-fisted way. Let me see. All right, let me get rid of this. Or let me show what I'm thinking. Let me try to let me make sure this compiles first, and then I'll try to demonstrate my thought process on what's happening. But it has to do with naming. All right, let me see. Let's see. GS, the method override specifier. Oh, okay. So this needs to be start controller. And then this, I need to change it in the CPP file as well. Okay, just give me a minute, and I will explain what's going on in my brain. Okay, I'll explain what's happening in this genius mind of mine that just you know, I have thousands of thoughts going at once, thousands of genius thoughts happening at one time, that it's difficult. You know, I was watching, you know, I was scrolling through YouTube Shorts the other day, and I was like, and I was looking at these things like, you might be autistic if, and then one of them was like, you don't make eye contact a lot. And I was thinking, you know, the only time I really make eye contact is like when I might get in trouble for saying this, but the only time I really make eye contact is when I'm trying to like flirt with a woman, like when I'm trying to like if I'm interested in a woman and I'm like talking to her. Other than that, I don't know that and then there's times when I have to think. I'm like, make eye contact, but don't make it weird, but make it good, but don't make it weird. You know, like at work, for example, and you're talking to your boss or something like that. It's like, you know, you got to have like this. Like it doesn't come natural for me. So I'm like, wait, does that mean I'm autistic? And my mother, like I was talking to my mother about this, and she's like, I've always thought you were a little on the spectrum. I'm like, oh, thanks, Mom. I don't think I am. I mean, maybe. I mean, I guess we all are, right? Like, you know, to some extent, that actually is a spectrum, unlike some other things. Okay, let me see. Okay, we compiled. So let me explain what I'm talking about here. Let me demonstrate this. All right, so here's our game. We go to new game. We're going to go to timed. And then if we hit start game, okay, we got this good. This is all good. Now, at this point, when this first came up, this was a controller, so we called start controller. Now, each time I'm calling, now when a new country comes up, I've just called, and you can, actually it's not logged, but you can see here, when the new country comes up, that's when, as soon as I hit this spacebar, what happens is I call end round on the one that was displaying Canada. I think that's what was displayed last. And then I called begin round on the one that's displaying Mexico. Now, when you run out of rounds, so to speak, that's when you call in controller. But now I don't like the name anymore because we're still in the controller. But maybe that's the problem. We should just go to because we have a game over controller, right? Well, I can still draw. All right. Oh, I'm probably just overthinking this too much. We have in controller. We need to know where to call in controller. That's the problem. So first of all, what we can do is we can tiles. I think it's tiles. Wait a minute. Tiles. Here we go. We'll just use this, but we don't want a constant. We do have a non-const ref to it, which is good. And then we'll just do tiles. Oh, is it a pointer? Now I'm really confused. I'm really confused as to, okay, so, anyway. So the tile object, I added this can draw, or set can draw. So what I really want is set can draw false, because when the controller ends, not the round. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe I need to change the name of what a round is. Like a round. No. I'm gonna stick to it. This is what I want, but I don't understand why that doesn't compile. Okay, tile manager. This should give me tiles should give me a tile manager. I thought it was okay, let's try this. All right, what is it? Okay, so tiles at this point is tile manager, tile container. So actually, do I just want this? Wait, whoa. Well, wait a minute. What is tiles? Tiles is a non-const ref to the tile manager. Okay, so we can just simply do set can draw false. Okay, so what this means is when the round is over, we can no longer draw on the tiles. One of the things we should do is we should make sure. Oops, what happened? We should make sure. Well, we should make sure all our white space spacing is aligned and looks nice. But we should also make sure that we can draw when we start. Right, this screen visible. We set the country. Okay. Right before. Okay. This is another mess I want to clean up because the start controller is doing some stuff, but then you have like start. Like I just want to clean this mess up. There's a little bit of a mess here. Let's add a note to ourselves, and we'll do this. To do. Clean up this start round controller game mess. Okay, we'll come back to that. We're not going to do that right now. Because we still need to implement this set draw. We need to make sure, okay, set draw true when we start the controller, and then when it's false when we end the controller. Okay. Okay. First of all, let's make sure we can let's implement the can draw thing right here. So let's see. So if this, let's see, event mouse pressed dragging drawing. Okay, mouse released dragging. Oh, wait a minute. How does this stop drawing? This is weird. Now this was code that I wrote probably. I remember where I was when I wrote a good portion of this older code. So so GeoSketch I kind of started in about a year ago, July of 2023, and then I kind of I worked on it for like a couple of months, and then I kind of forgot about it. And now recently I've come back to it. I remember where I was when I wrote this code. I was in Punta Arenas in southern Chile, and I remember it was snowing as I was writing this, and I was like, it was middle of July, and it was a little chilly in the Airbnb where I was, so I had like a hat on like I have now, and it was just snowing, and I was like looking over the snow of this because we were in this apartment that just like overlooked Punta Arenas, and there was just this beautiful coat of snow on the ground, and but I remember writing this code there. I do. All right, let me see. So, anyway, what I'm confused as to how drawing works here. Like, because when you push the mouse button down, I'm saying, okay, was it the left mouse button? Because if so, drawing is true. But then how... Oh... But I also set this dragging variable. So when I release the mouse button, I'm just saying dragging is false, but I'm not turning off drawing. So I guess, okay, so then I come down here, and this is the mouse moved event. So what do I do when I... So first of all, I see a little point of optimization here already. Because if dragging is controlling whether or not I'm actually drawing, because let's see, mouse button release, dragging. Oh, I see. Set selected drawing. Okay. So drawing is not. It's not representative of drawing and not drawing, because it's not representative of doing an act and not doing an act. It's representative of drawing and erasing, right? Because you can think of the opposite of drawing could be two things: erasing, right? But you could also think of it as the opposite of doing something. In this case, and I assume that the drawing variable meant that it's the opposite of doing something, of doing the act of drawing, of which the opposite of doing the act of drawing is not doing anything, because you're not drawing, you're not doing anything. But the act is actually erasing. The opposite act of this drawing variable is actually erasing. Dragging is what I'm looking at. It's an odd name for a variable, but whatever. I still think I should be able to quit out here early. Like if not dragging return, like just quit early. So down here, in theory, I don't need this because I already know if I'm down here, I'm always going to be dragging, right? But what was the point of this? Why was I looking at this? Oh, because I want to turn it off. If not dragging or not... No. I think I'll do it once here. Dragging equals... Dragging equals can draw. Oh God, this is so dumb. This is so confusing, these variables. But okay. Can draw. Okay, it's all lowercase. I think this will work. It's kind of stupid. Oh, but wait, if can draw is true, dragging is true. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to try this. So I'm going to hold the left mouse button down. Or we're going to get to the end of the game, end of the round, end of the controller. Oh, man. Naming is hard. Okay. Joe and Captain Fandom Nerd, I need you to listen up. Okay. I want to take a poll between you and anybody else who might be listening. Okay. I'm going to go to timed. So I'm going to hit start game. Now, once it starts, okay. This is Bolivia. It's asking me to draw Bolivia. I've drawn. Oh, well, it's set to false. But anyway, it's asking me to draw Bolivia. And okay, never mind. Let me start over. Okay. Okay, 3, 2, 1. It's asking me to draw Bolivia. Okay, now I'm going to hit the space and go to US2. So am I on the second round of this game? Am I on the second country of this round? What am I on? Like, you see what I mean? So there's 4 of these things. There's 4. It's asking me to draw 4 countries. So is that 4? It's tallying 4 rounds of drawing, or it's tallying 4. I don't know. But let's get back to the other pressing issue, which is you can no longer draw now. drawing completely is broken. Okay, why is that? Did I set can draw to false by... No, can draw is true. Can draw. And can draw right now never changes. Set can draw. That's weird. Second part of round 1. Second BD of round 1. Second body. Second bode. Second board. Second board. Second. Assuming game is more than 4 naps. What? You're just making up names, I think. Okay. First of all, let's second typo. Second part of round 1, but the part needs a better name. Okay. Why can't I draw? I should be able to draw. Can draw. Is can draw actually? The source file has changed. Okay, this. Why can't... Can draw is true. So if I come down here, if I actually get inside this block here, it should be true. Whoops. Ugh. All right, never mind. I need to recompile. Because this was true, wasn't it? This was simply just dragging equals true. At least I'm pretty sure it was. Let me look at the changes. Tile manager. Tile manager.cpp. I'm pretty sure that just said, yeah, it just said true. So this was, I'm gonna put that, I'm gonna note that to myself. Got to go for a bit. Oh, thanks, Joe. Thanks for nothing. Thanks for being a friend, Joe. The guy who's in bed all day has to leave. That's how you know your stream's terrible, when the guy who's in bed all day has to go somewhere to do something else. Oh yeah, no, I gotta go to Costco. All right, let me see. All right, got this. All right, let's see what happens. I'll make sure I'm able to draw again. Oh yeah, let's do this. Okay, I screwed something up. I can't draw at all now. What? What happened? What did I mess up? Okay, the only thing I added here was those two functions. That's good. Oh. So I did go mucking around with other functionality, right? That's what happens. You go mucking with functionality, you're going to break something. I broke something here. I don't quite understand the logic here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to undo my changes, and then I'm going to run the code to see if I can get my functionality back, right? This is my thought process often. Like if it's not like this is the first time this has happened, where you make a change in one place and you break, it has unintended consequences. But then you go, and what you do is and so I changed like 3 different things at once, and generally you don't want to do that. And I thought I understood the code well enough to do that, which is why I did that. But apparently I don't understand the code well enough, because it didn't act like I needed it to. So what I want to do is I'm going to revert things back to what I believe are functionally equivalent to when it was working, and then start changing one thing at a time. And I can already tell this works. Okay, this is good. Okay. So what did we break? Let's try simply doing this. We're just going to make that change, nothing else. And we're going to see if that will make it so that the tile thing is read-only, so that I can't draw on it anymore. So let's come over here, new game, timed, start. So we should be able to draw on it now, which we can. It resets, we can draw on it. It resets, we can draw on it. It resets, we can draw on it. Now, the next time, we should not be able to draw on it. But we can. Huh. Okay. Control. Maybe we need to redo this entire drawing logic to begin with, because I find it confusing. And I wrote it. I still find it confusing. Like, dragging, drawing. I know I wanted to be able to, because what it is I want you to be able to use the left mouse button to draw and the right mouse button to erase. But then at some point I also had a button, right? I had a button that allowed you to push an erase button so that you could erase with the left mouse button. But I got rid of it. So maybe we just need to kind of just nuke this functionality and just kind of start from scratch, right? Because it should be pretty easy. When you move the mouse, you detect if the left mouse button is down, and if so, you draw. And if the right mouse button is down, you erase. Right? Right? So, like, okay, we could start easy. Boolean. Well, really, we need a try-stat. Well, let's see. I got this. if EV type, no, oh, no. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe all I need is the mouse move button event and being able to detect if the mouse button, which mouse button is down when the mouse moves. I think that's all I really need. We need to do a search. Let's I was thinking about this job interview I did years ago where detect. Oh my god, I cannot type on this keyboard. SFML detect if mouse button is pressed. No, but this job I did years ago where they didn't want you to they were like, you can't use Google. You can't use the internet for this. And I thought it was the most ridiculous. I do not understand tests like that. Like, it's like, you know, you're interviewing for a carpenter position, and no, you can't use a ruler or a measuring tape. You can't use measuring tape, and you can't use a hammer. All you have is a wrench and nails. Now go build me a cabinet. Like it's ridiculous. Do companies? I haven't job interviewed in a long time. Like, do companies still do that? Like, try to test you, and test programmers and say, oh no, you can't use Google. No, you can't use like one of the single most widely used resources in the world, one of the most valuable resources, which makes your job easy. It makes you more productive. No, you can't use that because we want to make sure that you can write your own version of a reverse linked list or something stupid. Okay. So it looks like what we have here is we have mouse. Hold on. I need to check for both left mouse button and right mouse button is pressed. How can I do that? So if anyone is having a similar problem, here's the code. If mouse is button pressed, but what's mouse? This answer is the most idiotic answer in the world. It says, oh, yeah, if you're having the problem, here it is. Yeah, just use a mouse is button press. Well, where is mouse defined? What is mouse? Unbelievable. Okay, SFM mouse. Okay, I think we got something. I think we have something here. Do we have any? Okay. Here we go. Here we go, buddies. So, oh, this is a terrible song. I don't know what I'm listening to. I just put music on in the background. It's a terrible song. I'm changing it. Yeah, that's awful. Okay. Let's go back over here. So, I don't want to call a function when the mouse is moved. Does it matter? So here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking like if neither mouse button is pressed, we don't have to do anything else in here, because even if you move the mouse, oh, but I want to highlight the mouse. Oh, I did want to highlight. Okay, let's go naive, right? We'll go with the naive approach. Oh my God! Okay, bool, right button. Okay. Hopefully that will. I'm going to include the mouse library. Where did it go? Right here. All right. I am absolutely not accomplishing what I didn't want. I am not getting anything done that I wanted to get done today, but it's okay. That's okay because I am here with you. my fellow friends. I am here and enjoying our time together. Okay, let me stop lying. All right, let's see. We got this. We got the right mouse button. Okay. I already lost my train of thought. It's early in the morning. Okay, because I want to highlight. All right. I want to highlight. When I'm hovering. So there's 3 states. Left mouse button is pressed, right mouse button is pressed, and no buttons are pressed. There's actually 4 because I could actually technically press both, but we're only going to check for 3. That is left, right, and none. So I think we can get rid of this. I mean, honestly, we probably just want to change this to an if statement, but let's get things working first. Let's just get the thing working. Okay, so what are we doing here? We get the coordinates of the mouse, and we're looking for a tile. So we're kind of making sure that the mouse is over top of the tile map, or the tile grid, right? We're making sure if last tile set hovered last tile. Okay. So this is dealing with the highlighting. If we were over top of a tile before, and now we're over top of a new tile. Oh, if we're over top of nothing, but we were over top of something before, we have to unhighlight the thing we were over top of before. And since we're over top of nothing, we can go ahead and quit out early. Got it. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. I like easy peasy. Okay. So this, if I'm down here, I assume that I was able to get a tile. Yes. So local has an XY, which is the tile itself. And then this is a long line, which I don't like. Oh, I don't like that either. Okay, I had to put it back. All right. So here, what I'm doing is I'm saying, okay, I have the coordinates of where I have the coordinates for the tile over which the mouse is. Now let me compare those coordinates with the last tile and see if it's the same. Now I'm doing a pointer comparison, which I guess is okay. I don't know why I'm not doing a simple XY comparison, right? Because I should just be able to compare the coordinates of the last tile and of the current tile. And actually this, okay, I was going to say this could be dangerous because last tile may not have a value, but that's not true because then this would just be null. Okay, maybe that's why I'm doing that makes sense why I'm doing the pointer comparison. Because if last tile is null and the current one is not, then we're good. Okay, so we get the object, we get the tile, we get the pointer to the tile. If last tile is not null, we still have to do this. So we're doing that logic twice. It's okay. It's okay because we're kidding now. Okay. Now here's where we get to the interesting part. So we've unhighlighted the last tile. If we're dragging... if not last tile, return, set selected drawing. And then we have all of this here. Okay, so all of this stuff was when I was trying to, right? Remember I showed you how if you are drawing from the left side of the grid to the right side of the grid, really quickly you move the mouse, there's like, nothing gets highlighted in between. So what I was trying to do is I was trying to detect that path and then highlight the tiles along that path. But we didn't finish that. I think what we'll do is we'll kind of nuke it for now just to kind of make things a little easier to read and simplify things. And then we'll get rid of this noise here, which is just a logged message. Okay. All right. We're doing good. We're doing good here. So the dragging. So this actually seems like okay. If last tile. So here's the part I don't understand. If last tile is null, we return. But didn't we do that? No, we didn't. Set hovered false. Set selected. But why do I care about last tile? Pointer set hovered. Last tile equals. Okay, so this last line is setting the last tile variable to the current. The last tile to the current tile, which I get. I'm setting hovered on the current title, which I also get. Okay, I kind of want to add an assert. Because, wait, it's the XY coordinates. Local. What is PTR exactly? Does this make sense? Well, first of all, what is local? Local is, get XY coordinates. Local is an optional vector of unsigned integers, whereas get position is a vector of floats. So, okay, I'm going to, what I was thinking about doing was adding an assert such to test whether pointer position is equal to local position. I don't know that I have, I don't know if I have an easy way to cast between the vectors here. R adjacent, get intersected. No, I don't. Okay. I could write one. Like I could write a vector cast template function. Huh. Sorry, I'm deep in thought, right? And that's what's happening here. I'm deep in thought because I think what I want to do right now. Let me make sure I get this right. Template class. So what is this going to do? Is this going to? What is this going to do? It's going to cast from one type to another type. So, right, how do I want to use it? That often helps. Often what I want to do, so this is a vector float. So I would want to have like auto x equals GeoSketch vector cast, and then I would want to this would be the vector that I want to cast it to. So this would be vector 2f, for example, but then I'm casting local value. That's how I would want to use it. Okay, so here's what's going on. Pointer position, you have pointer position, and then you have local, what was it called? Local. Oh, it's just local. Oh, local itself, though. Okay. So pointer position here is a vector of two floats, right? You with me so far? Two floats. Whereas local is a vector of two unsigned integers. And what I want is I want to do something that's going to say assert. Ideally, it would just be assert position local. And what this would do, this would give me a big old error if this pointer position was not equal to local. And they should be, and I don't see why they never would be. But you could get, but this is a good taste. This is a good test case because pointer is coming from within the tile container, right? And local is the thing I'm using to get into the, so the pointer should know where it's at. The pointer object should know its coordinates. So this assert is going to confirm that the tile container or that the tile object knows its own, it knows its coordinates and it knows them correctly. But to do this portion right here, you need to compare a you need to compare two types that are different types, right? You have a vector of floats, when floats are numbers like 1.2345, and then you have a vector of integers, which is just like a 1 or 2. In C++, since those are two different types, C++ is going to be like, whoa, like chill, like you need to like chill. And actually, I'm creating more complications for myself because this would then, if I did successfully, it would require floating point comparisons, but I could just cast to an integer. Okay, so it's not, I'm not creating. Okay, anyway, so what this utility function does is it would change the type of one to another. So actually, I would take this pointer position, which is floats, I would put it in here like this, and then I would want to cast it to a vector of unsigned integers. And then I would take the result and compare that to local. And I think that would work. But what we need to do is we need to write this vector cast function. So I'm curious. Because what I want is I want destination t, dest t, source t, but source. This is what I really want. I'm going to say we would return. The thing we return would be of type dest t. Vector cast. And that's the problem. I don't want to specify the type, but can I use auto? I don't think it's going to let me use auto. Is it going to let me use auto? Okay, let's see. Whoop. Let's just put an empty implementation in. Okay. Yes, vector, Victor. Okay, this probably needs to be inline. I mean, does that compile? Okay, it doesn't compile. GeoSketch was not compiled. Okay, vector cast is not a member of G. Oh, okay, utils SFML. That's why. Okay, let's try this. So I put the utilities into its own little header file so that I could copy it around from project to project. What is going on here? Cannot open GeoSketch for writing. Why? Why does this happen? This happens. Okay, now what I have to do is I need to look at Task Manager and see if I can find GeoSketch. Which of course I can't. All right. The last time this happened, I think what we did is we just exited out of Visual Studio and restarted Visual Studio. So exit out. Restart. It is a nice morning out. I think I'm feeling energetic, so I might end this stream in about 10 minutes and then just go on my morning run. Because I'm feeling oddly interjected, like I want to go on a run. Energetic, like I want to go on this run. Like I'm feeling like I might as well take advantage of the energy, of the feeling of energy while I have the feeling of energy. But first, I want to understand what's going on here. Why can't I open it for writing? I swear, if this is related to like the bullshit software that's running on this computer, let me see. Source. I'm going to try just manually deleting this thing. So we're going to have to go to Lil Apps. We're going to have to go to GeoSketch, build, source, raw with deb info. Here it is. See if I can delete it. Deleted it just fine. Okay, let's see if I can write it now. It works just fine. Okay, so the point of that was that this is letting me compile. So I can use auto here, I'm guessing. So but this is tricky. I mean, would it be... Oh, this is really tricky. Why is this so tricky? It's tricky because I don't do a lot of generic programming. Okay, okay. Okay, okay, okay. I think I got it. Vector 2t. All right. This is the implementation essentially. But the problem here is how does that you know what? Let's try with auto. Let's try this with auto. I don't think it's going to work. Yeah. Auto doesn't know what's going on. Const t. Element 1 conversion const t to t requires narrowing. Where are you telling me that? How do you know that? Provide a simple template. Okay, do it. No, I don't know what this is talking about. Okay, what if decal type... See, this is interesting. How do I get the types within desc t, right? Because, okay, here's what I'm talking about. Desc t is like a struct. So you have struct, and it could be anything. Let's say if it's vector 2u, right? So we have unsigned and signed, and I'm just passing in vector 2u, but now I need to assign the elements this unsigned here. But how do I get them if all I know is the template? I need to look at the SFML documentation to see if there's any like struct attribute on the vectors. Let's look at that. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. It makes sense in my mind. It makes sense what I'm doing in my head, but I don't know if it makes sense to anybody else. Classes. So what we're going to look down here for vector 2. Good. So I want to know if they have any type attributes that tell me what the type inside are. And it doesn't. Okay, another way we could do this is we could just simply look at the definition. Let's just go to the file. Okay. So this is vector 2 unsigned. Vector 2. Or maybe there already is a cast op. Actually, I didn't even think of that. There already might be a way to convert these. I'll look for that in a second. What is going on here? Is this documentation? Oh, okay, never mind. It's just division. So I really need the C++ file. Will it get me to the code file? Probably not. I don't know where the code file is. Let's see. Oh, I don't want to pin it, but I do want to look at the open containing folder. Is this it? Whoa. Well, no, I mean, it would be in here if I needed. Oh, T. All right. Let me look for the internet way. Let me see. SFML. Yeah, I am getting so off track. We have got nothing done. This is what happens. It's just like, you know what? You know what? You know what? I need to just forget it. I need to go back to the drawing method and figure out what was going on there. But now I don't even feel like doing that because all I'm thinking about is how beautiful it is outside and I want to go on a run. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go on a run. We accomplished nothing in this hour of live stream. That's okay. That's all right. That's all right. Next weekend, I think we're going to have both Saturday and Sunday to program. And of course, I will probably accomplish some things during the week. We'll see. But until next week, be sure to click and subscribe to my channel. I just had my first video from India come out today, this morning, last night. So check that out. And there will be many more to come. This is actually the first video that I actually paid somebody else to edit. So let me know if you notice a difference. Let me know what you think of it. And I will see you again next time. All right. Bye-bye.